start.
Okay, so my part that I wanted to focus on was the part in page 11 through 12 whenever it's talking about her birth and who was there for her birth. And it says that, it talks about how Nana, Miriam's mom, says that her father, Jaleel, wasn't there and that he had just shrugged off the birth whenever the people came out, whenever he was writing to tell him that she was born, and that Nana had to cut the umbilical cord herself and gave birth to her on the house's floor.
And it took her like 2 days or whatever.
Yeah, and it took her a long time. But then there's the other account from Jaleel where it says that whenever he had heard that she was being born, that he got on his horse and rode straight there. And that, where was it?
He like took her to a nice hospital.
Yeah, he took her to a hospital, and the birth didn't take very long at all. And that he got to hold her whenever she was clean. And, oh, right here it says he was in a well-lit room. And Jaleel doesn't like how Nana, Miriam's mom, says that she had to do it herself, and that it was just in the house because it's about like, oh my gosh, she's explaining this. Okay, well, I think that this section shows conflict between the parents and how Miriam trying to win the favor of Miriam, both of them, and it's a significance of how she was born because she doesn't really know who to believe on what parts, but she knows that some of each may be true. And it just shows conflict between the parents, how they're both trying to get approval of Miriam and try to be the only parent that she looks up to, but it's just a struggle for power between those two.
Yeah, I think it really shows how much like Nana just like over-exaggerates things, even if like Jaleel isn't necessarily telling the truth. Like all that stuff Nana said probably is not true. And I think it shows how, like, the start of Miriam, like, not believing her mom.
Yeah.
Because, like, throughout the book, Miriam eventually is just like, you're lying, blah, blah, blah. And she starts believing Jaleel more and whatever he's saying.
Yeah, I think also that further in the book, she may end up going and living with Jaleel, just simply because her and Nana. What do you think it's pronounced Nana or Nana?
I say Nana, but okay. I don't.
But I think that she'll go to live with Jaleel eventually because
she does
Nana.
for a little bit.
Yeah, because Nana and her have conflict a lot.
Yeah. Okay, my turn.
Yeah.
All right. My section was on page 23. Hold on, let me get to it. And it was about how Jaleel brought clippings from Herod's newspaper and read from them to her. He was Miriam's link, her proof that there existed a world at large beyond the Kova, beyond Goldaman and Heratu, a world of presidents with unpronounceable names and trains and museums and soccer and rockets that orbited the Earth and landed on the moon. And every Thursday, Jaleel brought a piece of that world with him to the Kova. I think like that really shows you how cut off Nana has made like Miriam in her life, and how like she kind of shames Miriam for wanting to like go out and go to Herod and everything.
There was another thing that I wrote down kind of about that, is that like Nana shames Miriam for any want for education, because she says that the only type of woman that they are is like the only skill that they need is to adapt, because that's all they'll ever have to do. And that she just kind of seems to shame whenever she mentions education or wanting to have a higher education.
Yeah, and there's like one point in there where, what's his name? I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's like Miriam's teacher.
Yeah.
I can't remember I know his name, I just don't know how to pronounce it.
It's Mua.
Mullah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's one point where Miriam's like, I want to go to school, and Mullah's like, okay, let me go talk to your mom, and Nana's like, no.
Yeah.
And that really, like, plays into what you were saying about how Nana just kind of, like, shames her and, like, pretty much forces her to not go.
Yeah, and Miriam clearly really wants education, and she wants to live with Jaleel, and she wants to, like, further herself in that, but then she can't because her mom constantly...
All these teachers gone?
Yeah.
Her mom constantly says that, no, you can't do this, you have to be like me, you have to stay the way that it's been.
And, like, holds her back from pretty much being a grown-up and doing whatever she wants.
Yeah.
What do you think? Okay, I have a question. What does the way Miriam acts towards her mother tell us about the way she was raised? Like, how does the way Miriam acts towards her mother tell us about the way she was raised?
I think she was raised to... I don't know. I think her and her mom may just secretly be so much alike that it causes so much conflict. But I think that maybe that... I don't know. I think maybe she was raised to be more independent, even though Nana doesn't want her to be independent.
Yeah. I think Nana just kind of, like, forces her down and makes her feel like trash and everything, even though, like, trying to keep her in the Koba, like, trying to keep her, like, keep Miriam with Nana.
Yeah, she
but
like
it,
seclusion.
like, yeah, but inevitably it, like, just allows Miriam to want to break free and leave Nana and everything.
Yeah. I think your section kind of shows the whole, like, the seclusion that it really is back in the Kolba. How, like...
How far away, like, it is from everything else, yeah.
Like, I think symbolically, like, the Kolba is her seclusion, that's Miriam's little world, but then, like, Jaleel's home is, like, the symbolic of an outer world, and she wants to go visit an outer world.
Yeah, and, like, breaking free from just herself and, like, going out and exploring what's really out there and everything.
Yeah, not having to do the basic chore every day and have to do, like, just the whole repetitive step process that she has to do every day and just get something new.
My other question was, why do you think Jaleel brought Miriam newspaper clippings? Like, out of all the things he could have brought her, it was, like, newspaper clippings.
I think maybe that it was, like, for her, it's a taste of the outside world, and it's a taste of freedom. And I mean, obviously I'm not a parent, but if I found something that really made my child happy, then I would do that, and maybe the newspaper clippings gave her hope of being able to see the outside world.
Yeah.
Kind of like in the movies when kids have pictures of, like, Paris or New York in their rooms. Kind of like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think Jaleel, like, noticed how secluded, not really noticed, he probably knew the whole time, that, how secluded the Koba was and everything. And he wanted to, like, kind of take Miriam away from Nana's, like, seclusion and wanting to keep her trapped inside the Koba and everything. And Jaleel just kind of wanted to bring her a piece of the world.
I mean, I don't know. I think that's definitely true with the whole clippings. And I think maybe the clippings are like a symbolic way, or not really symbolic, but like a way that it's something that Jaleel can bring to her that Nana can't.
Yeah.
Because either Nana can't afford it or she just doesn't. But I think that it's just, it could tie back into the way of trying to be superior over Nana. And then the things that Nana does, like trying to keep her away from education, is trying to be superior over Jaleel.
Do you think Jaleel is a good guy?
In this part of the book, Miriam makes him out out to be a good guy, but then I feel like later on in the book we're gonna find out that maybe Nana was shielding her from Julio's life because it's just a really rough place to be or something like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Jalil's gonna turn out to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
And
kind of like with kids who bounce around from different houses, like